was the most devastating thing that ever happened in my life. Thinking, what have I got to live for? And, oh gosh, I have to keep it.
Simon Cowell, the man who built dreams and broke them just as quickly. To millions, he's the genius who discovered stars. To others, he's the harshest judge television ever produced. But behind the money, the power, and the smirk lies a story of regrets, mistakes, and battles the cameras never showed. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on Simon Cowell's biggest regrets in life. From an unknown clerk to the king of talent shows, Simon's rise was something nobody predicted. But like all stories of fame, what went up came at a heavy cost. This is the untold journey of Simon Cowell, the regrets he carries, the lessons he left behind, and the final question his life forces us all to ask. At 65, Simon Cowell, the man once called the most powerful voice in television, is facing a reality more tragic than any rejection he ever delivered. Behind the glittering empire and million-dollar talent shows lies a story of regret, loss, and unexpected battles. Today, we uncover the heartbreak Simon Cowell never wanted the world to see. If you had Simon's fortune and fame, what would you trade it all for? Youth, health, or peace of mind? Drop your answer below. What if failure became your greatest investment? Simon Cowell knew rejection better than anyone in the music industry. Fired from multiple record labels and mocked for chasing bubblegum pop acts, his future looked dim, but he turned setbacks into fuel, learning the psychology of mass appeal like a scientist studies data. When Pop Idol debuted, Simon wasn't just a judge. He was the show's engine. His rise taught a brutal truth. Obscurity can be the first step to dominance. Embrace rejection as rehearsal. That's resilience. Can cruelty ever become currency? Simon's unapologetic bluntness, calling performances horrendous or karaoke at best, shocked audiences worldwide. Yet viewers returned, not for the singers, but for Simon's truth bombs. He tapped into a hidden hunger. People wanted honesty, even when it stung. Careers were made, egos were shattered, and television ratings soared. But power gained through fear always leaves scars on both sides. Speak boldly, but never forget the line between truth and cruelty. Balance matters. Imagine your self-worth tied to a number flashing on a screen. For Simon Cowell, ratings weren't just metrics, they were lifeblood. A dip in viewership could sour his mood. A record-breaking finale felt like oxygen. Yet behind the glittering success, every season ended with the same emptiness. Applause fades, silence lingers. Living by numbers can make victories hollow. Count memories, not just milestones. That's real wealth. One crash, two broken bones, and a new perspective. In 2020, Simon's motorcycle accident nearly cost him his life. The man who thrived on control suddenly faced weeks of helplessness, trapped in recovery. Pain forced reflection. Was chasing endless fame worth the risk of never seeing his son grow up? Health rewrites priorities. Fortune means little when your body fails. Protect the engine of your life. You. What happens when fatherhood arrives at 54? For Simon, the birth of his son, Eric, reshaped everything. The once work-obsessed mogul found himself canceling meetings to read bedtime stories, trading studio sessions for playground laughter. Yet with joy came fear. Time wasn't on his side. Could he give his child decades of memories, or just a handful? Parenthood proves success isn't measured in contracts, but in hugs. Love, not fame, leaves the deepest mark. Fame whispers a cruel lie. You can buy back youth. Simon's experiments with Botox and fillers turned headlines brutal, his once confident image mocked as unrecognizable. In chasing eternal youth, he lost authenticity, and authenticity was his true brand. Vanity traps even the powerful. The lesson? Don't fight age, master it. Self-acceptance is the facelift no surgeon can sell. Picture a mansion filled with silence. Despite global fame, Simon often admitted he struggled with loneliness, especially when the cameras turned off. Friends saw the empire, he felt the void. The wealthiest rooms are often the emptiest. Success without connection feels like exile. Nurture relationships as fiercely as ambitions. People, not profits, anchor you. He built stars, but he also burned bridges. Artists like One Direction soared, while others left feeling discarded. Business wins often came at personal costs, leaving Simon surrounded by colleagues but short on confidants. Influence fades when trust is gone. Guard your circle. Loyalty is worth more than ratings. If this glimpse behind Simon's empire feels eye-opening, subscribe now. Because the hidden lives of icons are never what they seem, and you won't want to miss what comes next. What happens when your empire stops entertaining the world? By the mid-2000s teens, the X Factor's ratings tumbled, and even American Idol bowed out. The formula that once dominated screens suddenly felt stale. Simon faced an unsettling truth: audiences move on, even from legends. Reinvention became survival. Don't rely on past victories. Evolve before the applause ends. Change early, not late. Wealth can disguise emptiness. Simon's fortune, estimated at hundreds of millions, built estates, cars, and lavish vacations. But money couldn't mend broken trust or erase regret. Dual truth. Financial success looks like freedom, but often feels like prison. True wealth is measured in freedom of time, not piles of cash. Invest in life, not just lifestyle. Imagine building an empire only to realize you missed the moments that matter. Simon often confessed he sacrificed relationships, vacations, even simple joys in his relentless chase for success. Work filled his calendar, but emptied his soul. Dual reality. Ambition builds empires, but it also steals sunsets. The lesson? Protect your time as fiercely as your reputation. Memories are the real milestones. Powerful men rarely admit to breaking. Simon, though, revealed he faced periods of deep depression and overwhelming anxiety, fueled by pressure to perform endlessly. Behind every smirk on TV, there were nights of doubt and silence. Mental health struggles don't discriminate, rich or poor, powerful or unknown. Strength isn't hiding the struggle, it's seeking help. Speak before the silence swallows. Fame is the drug no doctor prescribes. For Simon, staying relevant became an obsession, launching new shows, scouting trends, chasing virality. Every headline felt like oxygen, every dip in attention, suffocation. Dual truth. Relevance fuels confidence, but dependency drains peace. The more he grasped for the spotlight, the more it slipped away. Pursue purpose, not applause. That's lasting. Television moved on while Simon stood still. Younger, fresher judges brought softer edges, while streaming platforms rewrote the rules of entertainment. The man once untouchable suddenly looked dated, battling to keep pace with TikTok stars half his age. Influence is never permanent. Reinvention is survival. Adapt fast or fade slow. The man once feared for his sharp tongue surprised everyone with rare admissions of weakness. Simon opened up about fears of aging, regrets over missed family time, and even his insecurities about appearance. Vulnerability, once his enemy, became his bridge to fans who saw themselves in his cracks. Dual truth. Perfection builds distance. Honesty builds connection. Strength is revealed in softness. Dare to show yours. What do you leave behind when the spotlight dims? Simon's empire shaped pop culture, launched superstars, and redefined talent shows. Yet, his legacy feels unsettled. Critics wonder if he will be remembered for building dreams or for crushing them. Influence without compassion often fades into controversy. Legacy isn't just what you create, it's how people remember feeling around you. Build impact, but build kindness too. Simon's journey is more than gossip. It's a mirror. His rise showed the power of resilience. His fall exposed the cost of imbalance. Every viewer can take this lesson. Success without balance becomes burden. Dual truth. Build ambition, but also build joy. Don't sacrifice tomorrow's peace for today's applause. Choose harmony over hustle. So at 65, is Simon's story a tragedy or a cautionary triumph? He shaped culture, made millions, and influenced generations. Yet, regret, loneliness, and fading relevance leave his empire shadowed by heartbreak. The final question is one we all must face. What will your legacy feel like? Build it now, before time answers for you. Simon Cowell's life reminds us that brilliance without balance is fragile. Fame can dazzle, money can distract, but time and love remain priceless. His story is not just entertainment, it's a warning and a compass. In our next video, we'll uncover another legend whose empire turned into a personal prison. Stay tuned, you won't want to miss it.